my father, who was a very strong influence on us, was very distrustful of ideologies and people who he believed were not, who did not have the loyalties in our own country.
Such as?
Well, you look, you're not talking. Remember, he had his own views about what was happening in the 40s and 50s at that time. Who was for the national movement? Where did different people? How did they switch? Remember, at that time, China. There was a big China issue.
Revolution.
I mean, we are.
Okay. You're talking the war and things.
No. War
or the
post-war.
revolution. Okay.
Yeah. So he particularly, I think, had he was very, very distrustful of the left. So of the communist left. And I think some of it. So in a sense, we grew up very unspokenly, but very strongly as very patriotic children. You might say. We kind of went to this military institutions. I went to Air Force School, to King George's Bangalore Military School. My siblings went to, some of them went to Naval School, to Sardar Patel Vidyalaya. So I think that was the kind of mindset I took into JNU. So in fact, in JNU, which was a dominantly leftist outlook, where the teachers, the students, the administration, everybody was very leftist. My lot of people, my cohort were the first set of people who actually politically took on the left.
Okay.
And actually we had a meeting, we had an election even where the then Prakash Karat was the SFI candidate. He won one election, he lost one election. So I
Where did you stand in that?
Oh, I was very clearly with what was called the free thinkers.
Free thinkers.
Yeah, free thinkers was a assortment, because other than the left, there was no other political.
And there was no tukre in those days.
No. All that came very much later. So I would say that sense of nationalism, connection to country, this was kind of instilled in us. On the cultural question, it was very interesting. When I did my book, I have a chapter on the Mahabharata in the book. And one of the Delhi journalists asked me this question, said, I find that a very surprising. I said, yeah, partly because maybe you don't know me that well. But we learned, all of us, I'm talking my siblings as well, we read Mahabharata very early. In fact, very often it was the subject of discussion in our house and we approached, a lot of it was approached as strategy, as, in a sense, what our own epics. And by the way, we were a very, I would say, cosmopolitan household. It wasn't, the same father also gave us Iliad and Odyssey and other things as well.
Okay. So you had Homer on one side and you had the Mahabharata on the other side.
And a lot of things in between.
And a lot of things.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm sure you had Plato and Aristotle too.
I'm a political science student.
Yes.
I actually studied those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to come to this whole thing about the sensitivity issue. Do you feel that, because many say that ban this and ban that, do you believe that that is a solution to it? Banning a documentary here, banning a book there, asking a channel not to broadcast in India?
No. Look, I don't think that you're asking the right question. I'd ask you a counter question. What is it we are debating? We are not debating just a documentary or a speech that somebody gave in a European city or
New York.
a newspaper edit somewhere. We are debating actually politics which is being conducted ostensibly as media, as so. There is a phrase, war by other means. There is also, think of it, this is politics by another means. I mean, you'll do a hatchet job. Then you want to do a hatchet job and say, well, this is just another quest for truth, which we decided after 20 years to put out at this time. So, I mean, come on, you think the timing is accidental? I mean, let me tell you one thing. I don't know if election season has started in India and Delhi or not, but for sure it has started in London and New York.
Okay. So this is what it is that, there's a lot that is being said, that the rise of Mr. Modi and consequently the rise of India. These two things are happening at the same time, which is not acceptable to people in these Western capitals that you're talking, and certain Indian quarters too. Do you agree with that point of view?
I mean, do you doubt it?
I'm asking you.
No, look who welcomes
because
it.
Ashley Tellis, Ashley Tellis, right?
Who are cheerleaders?
Your friend.
Let me answer your question. What is happening is, just like I told you, this drip, drip, drip. How do you shape a very extremist image of India, of the government, of the BJP, of the Prime Minister? Huh? I mean, this has been going on for a decade. Okay, let's not have illusions about it. How some of this has a different variant, which is you will say something, there's an echo chamber, it'll be picked up outside, then you'll say, aha, see, they're saying it outside, that must be true. Then you will say it inside. So there's a ding-dong going on. See, look, this is a globalized world. People take that politics abroad. Politics of India doesn't stop at its borders. Sometimes politics of India doesn't even originate in its borders. It comes from outside. Ideas come from outside, agendas come from outside. Otherwise, please tell me why suddenly, there's a surge of reports and, attention and views. I mean, were some of these things not happening earlier? I mean, I gave you the example of Assam.
Yeah.
I mean, people speak about, okay, you had to make a documentary. Many things happened in Delhi in 1984. Why didn't we see a documentary on that? If that was your concern, that you felt suddenly one day, okay, I'm very humanistic and I must get justice for people who have been done wrong. So look, don't kid yourself. This is politics at play. This is politics at play by people who do not have the courage to come into the political field. They want to have the Teflon cover saying that, I'm an NGO, I'm a media organization, etc. But they are playing politics. I know that.
How does BJP react to this? Is it, or your government for that matter, is it is it a reactionary measure that you have to take? How do you counter this?
I think we will put our point of view across, and as should be rightfully done in a democracy, eventually the public will give its verdict.
Which is the electorate.
That's what
it's only by the ballot that these things. If he gets re-elected, that means that they have been proven wrong. Is that it? Is that what you're saying?
Look, I would say yes, among other things, because in a democracy, don't you trust the ballot box and the people's verdict to be the final opinion? I do. I know there are some people who believe that their view supersedes elections. So, in fact, by the way, even that, look at this term. I like you, you win election, great democracy. I don't like you, you win election, what are you? Electoral autocracy.
Yeah, I heard that term.
What a great term, right? That's reserved for people you don't like who win elections. So, this is politics, my dear.
So, if there's so much money going to be pumped in, how does India react? How does India even deal with it when you don't know that there's one enemy or this is amorphous entity?
No, look, I would say I think there should be and there is a battle for narratives which goes on. There will be narratives designed to damage us. We have to put out narratives designed to expose people or designed to put our viewpoint across. I think we will. My own sense is that most people will, through their, this is a pretty informed age, that era when people had only one or two sources and they controlled thinking. I think that's gone by a long time ago.
Let me come to the foreign policy issues, which I said we'll do in the second half of it. Increasingly domestic issues and the foreign policy have become interlinked. Foreign policy matters used to be something which domain-specific people